Princess Gorgeous and the Golden Rose. Once upon a time, a long, long time ago, the king and queen had a little girl called Princess Gorgeous. And she was gorgeous. She loved to play, loved the blue skies, the birds coming down to talk to her, loved the people coming to the castle, and lots of people want to say, I say, when your daughter grows up, I'd very much like to marry her. She wasn't just gorgeous, she was rich and powerful. But unfortunately, Princess Gorgeous became rather, well, spoiled. She wanted her own way all the time, and when she didn't have it, she'd throw herself on the floor. Princess Gorgeous stopped being gorgeous, really. She looked a bit, well, hard work. People rather hoped she didn't come round for tea because she'd eat everything that was on the table. And I want this, and I want that, and want this. Oh dear, said the king and queen, what are we going to do? She must learn to do as she's told. We must all learn to do as we're told. And then, one day, a green witch from Uttoxeter arrived. Uttoxeter is a town in the Midlands, has a lot of horses running about. And this witch arrived and sidled up to Princess Gorgeous. Oh, I don't think I care the look of you. And she said, I have you a gift, the green witch said. And there, in the rose gardens, there was pale pink roses, smelled beautiful, lemon-coloured roses, deep red roses, every colour you can possibly imagine, including the Rosamunde, which is red and white stripes. She had everything, and lavender hedges and beautiful, beautiful white cat. But unfortunately, Princess Gorgeous always wanted something else. And there the green witch showed her a golden rose. Somehow the rose made of pure gold was living. But in its own way it was not as beautiful for a moment as the lovely pink or white or lemon-coloured roses. But it was unusual. Oh, I'd like that. That's mine. Thank you very much indeed, said Princess Gorgeous. It's just one problem, said the green witch. If you pick this rose, you'll fall into a deep curse. Do you hear me? Princess Gorgeous said, well, I'm so gorgeous, everybody will organise everything. Oh, very well, I won't then. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, green witch. Good. And she went over and she picked the rose. But by doing so, she pricked her finger on a thorn and fell into a deep sleep, the rose falling from her fingers. And as it fell from her fingers, it turned to grey dust and blew away in a wind. The king and queen were terribly sad and carried her to her bedroom. And there people sat with her, holding her hand, but nothing could wake her up. Her fairy godmother arrived and said, I can tell this is the work of the green witch. There's nothing we can do. The child has been tempted to do something she mustn't do, and she knew she mustn't do it. Otherwise, you wouldn't have gone horribly wrong. What do I do, said the queen. What do I do, said the king. Well, we must have something to break the spell. The fairy godmother went away and looked at many spells, but she said, I can't work out what I have to do with this. It just isn't happening. And everybody became very sad, and the skies went very grey, and the birds cleared off and went somewhere else. And the white cat just curled up at the edge of the bed. After a while, a handsome prince arrived. People heard a click-clop, 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 click-clop. And there on a white horse was a beautiful, handsome prince in glittering armour. Hello, he said. I'm a handsome prince in glittering armour. I'm going to wake her up. Strode in, taking off his gloves and throwing them down. In he went. Hello, my love, he said. But nothing happened. Oh, he said, this isn't working. He kissed her hand. No, that wasn't working. You'll have to go, said the king. You'll have to go, said the queen. You're making it worse. You're reminding us. I can't believe, said the prince, that she didn't wake up immediately to look at my lovely face, because I'm tall, dark, handsome. Yes, said the king, and you're a failure. Off you go. And so with a click-clop, they went out. And then a brass band arrived, making tremendous noise. That didn't wake her up either. The birds stayed away. The sky was grey, and people were very sad. Meanwhile, there were two children, and they were good children, a brother and sister. and they'd heard the story of the princess. But you see, one of the problems was the people who went to the castle wanted something. The "Hello, I'm a handsome prince" wanted to marry and take over the kingdom and be king one day. The brass band wanted to be very famous. A magician had come. Oh, a magician had come. He hadn't done a very good job. His cloak fell off. He just wanted the money. He wasn't a real magician, it turned out. He was just a fake. Just pretending he could do lots of things. But all he wanted to do was have money and steal money and make people's lives a misery, so they sent him away. Nothing was working, but the children said to each other, "I wish we could wake up Princess Gorgeous. Because by waking her up, everything would be better again. But she would be better. She could lead her life instead of being in this deep sleep with the white cat at the bottom of the bed. We'd better go and see if we can help." But they didn't want money. They didn't want fame. They didn't want anybody to know who they were, really. So they arrived at twilight, when people were asleep and nobody was about, and the sky was a soft blue, and the stars just starting to come. And they made their way to outside the princess's room, and holding hands, the little boy and girl sang a little song for her, just very gently, and it was as if the moon caught their song and carried it in and gave it to Princess Gorgeous, because she started to wake and wake. Children didn't know she'd woken up. But when she woke up, she felt different. Her hand was better. She didn't know she'd been asleep for such a long time. And she went out and looked out of the window and saw the children, and the children said, "Princess, how lovely to see you. Are you better?" "Yes," said the princess, "you've made me better. I'm grown up now. I've been in enchanted sleep. I can tell. I did the wrong thing. I did what I was told not to do. I won't do that again. Thank you, children." And the children went home, and the princess was well again, and the whole nation was delighted, and the skies were blue, and the birds came back, and the fountains worked, and everybody was cheerful, and the sun came out, and even in the cold winter snows that twinkled, it was still beautiful. Princess Gorgeous was no longer called Princess Gorgeous. She was called Princess Gentle. And that's because she had become gentle and kind. She got to know in the end who the two children were, who didn't want other people to know they'd done good things. But they married and had children themselves. And quietly, some days, they would have tea together, and the princess would come too, but secretly. The white cat was enchanted and stayed with her all of her life. So this is really a story that kind and good can do many great things, whereas greed and stealing and sharing off does not necessarily. I hope you like this fairy tale. I hope it made you laugh. Oh, what did you say? Oh, the Green Witch. Oh, the moment she woke up, the Green Witch from Uttoxeter went and disappeared, and nobody ever saw her again. That's good, isn't it? You be good and kind. Bye-bye, children. Thank you very much for listening. I'm just off to look after the white cat.